Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a fuel filler neck on this 97 Buick LeSabre. These filler necks tend to rot out. It happens in a whole lot of cars, and they start getting pinholes, and you start getting a check engine light that's throwing a code that says there's a leak in your evap emission system. Again, we're doing this on a LeSabre. This procedure is the same for many GM cars, LeSabre, Bonneville, Olds 88, Cadillac, a whole bunch of different cars. You'll need a new filler neck from 1AAuto.com. There are two types. There's one where the cap screws in probably 2 or 3 turns, and then there's the style where the cap kind of just inserts and then only screws in a 1/4 turn. So there are 2 different styles, so just make sure you order the correct style. And then you'll need jack and jack stands, a lug wrench or 19mm socket with a ratchet to remove your lug nuts, 5/16, 7mm and 11mm sockets and ratchet with extension, penetrating oil, large flat blade screwdriver, and then we ran into some rust issues with one of the bolts, so we also had to use a cold chisel, and we also needed an extra large bolt, nut, and washer. Start by raising up the vehicle. Remove the driver's rear wheel by removing the center cap. If you don't have air tools, you want to loosen the lug nuts while the vehicle is on the ground. Then raise and support the vehicle. Remove the lug nuts, wheel, and tire. Up underneath the vehicle, kind of behind where the rear tire was,
put some
there is a bolt that holds the bracket for the filler neck in. You'll want to spray penetrating fluid on it, and then especially in the little hole or crack right up in behind,
back side here,
to try and get the back of the bolt.
Open the fuel door and remove the gas cap. See 3 7mm screws that need to be taken out.
And here we'll use a 7mm socket with a ratchet and extension to remove those bolts, as well as you pull, if your gas cap still has the little lanyard, pull that free, and this loosens up the top of the filler neck.
Not good.
It's no longer a 10mm.
Okay, up underneath you'll find a bolt that holds the bracket that's on the filler neck to the body of the vehicle. Ours is way too rusted and will not come out. Hopefully you won't have that problem. And if you do run into that problem, you can do what we did, which is we just grabbed hold of the filler neck, and the bracket was so badly rusted that we were able to just pull the filler neck down and around and break it, basically just break the whole bracket.
Using a 5/16 socket, you could either use that or a flathead screwdriver. Remove your clamps.
And we'll just fast forward as we remove those clamps. These may have been replaced on our car, so they came off fairly easily. If yours are bad, you can always cut them with wire cutters or some type of grinding wheel or something like that, and then just replace them with regular stainless steel clamps.
I'm using a long flathead screwdriver to separate the hose from the filler neck.
Okay, this is probably the most difficult part of the whole process, getting the hoses separated from the filler neck. You basically work the screwdriver in there, just try and get some separation, and what you want to work towards is to be able to twist the hoses, and then once you're able to kind of twist the hoses, you can pull them off the filler neck, and you can see we actually, 2 of us get in there. One pulls on the filler neck while the other pulls on the hose. Generally it's easier to get the smaller hose off first and then work on the larger hose.
Remove this 7mm screw and this one here.
And we'll just fast forward here as we take those two screws out that hold the fender trim in.
Pull the fender well out. Twist it out.
And here, like I said, that bolt that held the bracket for the filler neck didn't come out, so we're just using a cold chisel and a hammer and shearing it off, doing a little bit of damage to the body, but we'll show you how to overcome that a little bit later.
Old part, new part from 1A Auto, exact same. Put your new pipe up and get it kind of situated in there and get your hoses started.
Just make sure you have the clamps on the hoses, and then just work the new neck into the hoses. It usually works in fairly easily. Okay, so you remember that the mounting bracket and the body was pretty rusted, or the clip and the bolt were really rusted. So what we did is we took a large washer and a carriage bolt, okay, and we're going to put those up into the hole so that they can't pull straight down and out. Then put the filler neck up in there and start a washer and nut on. You want to use a bolt that's long enough that you can kind of hold it with your thumb as you're putting the washer and nut on, and then basically just kind of hold it to the side as you're threading that nut on. And as it gets in further, we actually used a carriage bolt, so it kind of bit down into the washer, and it was able to hold its place as we tightened it up.
Retighten the hose clamps.
And we'll fast forward again as we do that. Just make sure the hoses are on there all the way. Push them on there and make sure that the clamps are tightening the hose to the filler neck securely.
Place your gas cap ring over your fuel neck. And then align the bottom where the screw goes through with the bottom screw hole.
And as you can see, for those 3 screws, you just kind of use your socket ratchet extension, get the screw going, reach in behind, move it around a little bit so that the screw goes into the hole, and then tighten those up.
When you put your splash shield back in place, notice that you've got a little tab here that goes up inside and clips in.
And again, we'll fast forward here, start those screws in, then tighten them up. And sometimes the one in the rear is a little difficult. You just kind of have to put the screw through the liner, look in the back, make sure it's going in the correct spot, and tighten. Reinstall your wheel and tire, lug nuts, put them on preliminarily, then lower the tire or the vehicle back down on the ground, and tighten the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds and replace your center cap. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.